Michelle Carter's fate now in the hands of the judge following closing arguments today in her manslaughter trial. Over the last 7 days, the trial has largely focused on thousands of text messages between Carter and the boy she's accused of encouraging to kill himself.
And prosecutors said in their closing statements today that Conrad Roy would still be alive had it not been for Carter's actions. But the defense claimed he knew what he was doing when he took his own life. Eyewitness News reporter Steph Machado has been in court for this case every step of the way. She joins us live from Taunton now with more. Steph.
Michelle Carter's fate now in the hands of the judge who will render the ultimate verdict. He said he's going to review the exhibits and testimony, after which he will decide if Michelle Carter is responsible for Conrad Roy's suicide and therefore guilty of manslaughter.
What we're dealing with is a suicide and not a homicide.
Michelle Carter's defense team making one last argument to the judge that she's not responsible for her boyfriend Conrad Roy's death.
Michelle Carter did not kill Conrad Roy. It's sad, it's tragic, but it's just not a homicide.
But the prosecution arguing in closing statements that Conrad Roy would still be alive had it not been for Michelle Carter urging him to take his own life.
By your own admission, she caused his death.
Conrad used a generator to fill his pickup truck with carbon monoxide on July 12, 2014 in a Kmart parking lot in Fairhaven. The prosecution says he was on the phone with Michelle as he did it.
She listened to him cry on the phone. She listened to his last words. She listened to his last breaths. And she listened to him die.
Michelle later texting a friend that Conrad got out of the car and she told him to get back in.
Did he get back in the car? Yes. But she was the cause of it, Your Honor. She ordered him back in that car.
But the defense says Michelle wasn't there, and Conrad ultimately made his own choice.
Nobody really knows what happened at or around the time that Conrad Roy took his own life, other than Conrad Roy.
The judge did not give a timeline for how long he will deliberate before coming to a verdict, but he did say he plans to review the exhibits and testimony first. Coming up new at 6, we'll tell you about the evidence both attorneys asked the judge to consider in their final arguments. Live in Taunton with the Mobile Newsroom, I'm Steph Machado, Eyewitness News.
Now at 6, the Michelle Carter trial is now in the hands of the judge, who will ultimately decide whether Carter is innocent or guilty of manslaughter.
And this afternoon, attorneys on both sides presented closing arguments. Eyewitness News reporter Steph Machado joins us now live from Taunton with the latest.
The trial is now complete, save for the verdict. A judge will decide if Michelle Carter is guilty or not of manslaughter, both sides making one final attempt to convince him.
Didn't want to die.
The prosecution arguing in closing statements that Conrad Roy III would still be alive if it wasn't for what they call the reckless actions of Michelle Carter, urging her boyfriend to kill himself.
By your own admission, she caused his death.
Michelle Carter did not kill Conrad Roy. It's sad, it's tragic, but it's just not a homicide.
The defense points to Conrad Roy's long history of suicidal thoughts, at least one attempt that landed him in the hospital. And even in his suicide note to Michelle, he does not blame her, writing, "I wish I could express my gratitude. I love you and greatly appreciate your effort and kindness towards me."
Telling her, "I love you, carry on." I won't go through the whole note, but I suggest the reason why he's leaving that is because he's not intending to come back.
The defense also used an expert witness, a psychiatrist, who claimed Carter was involuntarily intoxicated by antidepressants and had no notion of criminal wrongdoing. But the prosecution asking the judge to read those text messages carefully. In this one to a friend, Michelle writes, "They read my text messages with him, I'm done. His family will hate me and I could go to jail."
She absolutely knew what she was doing. She absolutely knew it was wrong. And she absolutely caused the death of this 18-year-old boy.
And Michelle Carter's fate now in the hands of the judge. He has not yet given a timeline for how long he plans to deliberate. Live in Taunton with the Mobile Newsroom, I'm Steph Machado, Eyewitness News.